information that's on your side. This is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
A year after dreams of a massive concert series fell apart, there's growing concern over Lake Olmsted Stadium going to waste.
And new reports about drug overdoses. We're talking with local law enforcement and rehab centers about how they're combating the opioid crisis. But we begin with continuing coverage of Augusta's EMS situation. Today, a state committee recommended the group Central EMS to take over as the ambulance provider for the city.
Despite the recommendation, the state does not have to stick with it, so the other two companies, Gold Cross and AmeriMed, are still not out of the running. News 12's Nick Veland was in the meeting this afternoon, and he joins us live from our newsroom now.
So, Nick, with this recommendation in place, where do things go from here?
Yeah, Richard, the committee chose Central EMS based on their plan for the ambulance zone. The Department of Health still has to say yes or no to this on Monday, but if all goes according to Central EMS's plan, they feel like the city will be in good hands. The president of Central EMS says that they want to hit the ground running.
The way you do that is you be transparent, you be upfront, and you provide the good service to try to limit what those complaints can be. Once a complaint comes in, you've got to address that quickly, and you do that working through your fire department, working through your Q&A program, and working through all of the issues and challenges to try to make sure that same problem doesn't happen again.
Central EMS started in 1983 in Roswell, Georgia. They soon became one of the largest ambulance service providers in Georgia, while servicing parts of cities like Atlanta and Savannah. Central EMS says they plan to operate here like they do in Forsyth County because of similar size and population. Central EMS wants to tweak the way first responders and dispatch communicate, hopefully making the process more efficient.
The 911 center will communicate directly to our ambulances, which are a little bit of a change from the way it is now.
The company has studied the area, deciding that they can provide 14 ambulances for the best care. 8 of those ready to go 24 hours a day, 6 of those only for peak hours. All of this does come at a cost, which still isn't clear.
So it's a negotiation of how much money does it cost to put the ambulances in service versus what response time do you want, what quality. If it gets to be too far out of balance, I can't play in that ballpark.
Yeah, and once that vote does take place on Monday, those negotiations will then be able to start with the provider the state chooses. For now, it's looking like it will be Central EMS, and they also say once terms are negotiated, they can be ready and set up in 2 to 3 months, and are confident in a smooth transition from Gold Cross.
Progress, but we are still waiting for things to be settled in this whole matter. Nick, thanks for the update. Nice looking day outside today. So first on our chief meteorologist, Riley Hale. Just minutes. All right, Riley, nice looking shot from the putting green outside, making us all jealous. A big update today in the case of a missing teacher from Sandersville, more than a year after they found her body in Washington County. Today we're learning Aaron Jones pled guilty for the part he played in her disappearance, the disappearance of Tina Prince. Jones was charged with concealing the death of another and 6 counts of making false statements. He was sentenced to 40 years in prison. Tina Prince, an elementary school teacher who disappeared back in the summer of 2021. After a week of searching, they found her in a rural part of Washington County. The official cause of death never determined, and officials did not suspect foul play. But the medical examiner says Prince had an antidepressant along with fentanyl in her system. All new at 6 o'clock, we're taking a look at how local rehab center is working to help people struggling with addiction, especially an addiction to opioids.
Looking at the latest overdose data for South Carolina, DHEC says the Palmetto State saw more than 430 overdoses in 2021. That's more than 421 overdoses than they did the year before. So that is a 25% increase. News 12's Hallie Turner's in Aiken Forest, where local law enforcement there and across the country are on the front lines in the fight against opioid addiction in our area.
Recovery is hard. Recovery is extremely hard.
A recovering addict himself, Jordan Lewis is speaking from experience.
There's a point where I experienced homelessness because of my addiction. Pretty much my whole adult life. I found recovery at 34, from like 17 to 34. Drugs and alcohol.
With overdose rates rising in the Palmetto State, Jordan says it's becoming harder for people to get help.
A lot of private treatment facilities are extremely expensive, and there's just not a lot of options out there for people lower income. The overdose rates are very high right now, and it's scary when someone comes in needing a resource that just isn't available.
He got help at the Aiken Center and believes in the mission so much, he now works there. He's making it his mission. No one gets turned away.
I've never told someone I can't help you. I don't have that in my DNA. I cannot do that. If I come across someone that needs help, I will figure something out.
One way they help is by helping save addicts from themselves. If drugs are lying around, it's hard to say no.
A lot of the times an overdose can happen when high-powered drugs are abused from their intended purpose. As a way to reduce harm, they give out these drug deactivation kits, like this one. You tear open the pouch, pour in your unwanted, unused, or no longer needed medication, and add some water. 30 seconds later, those drugs are now deactivated from their intended use, and you throw it away, knowing you have a better chance at life tomorrow.
And the chance of what could happen tomorrow is worth it.
See, I've seen a whole lot of great success stories. I've seen families reunited. I've seen, people get married. I've seen people start their own business in recovery that had nothing, and then people go from homeless to homeowner.
Here on the Georgia side, the State Department of Public Health reports almost 2,400 people died of a drug overdose in 2021. Of that number, 74 of those overdoses were either in Richmond or Columbia counties. The latest study shows more than 250 people were treated in the emergency room for a drug overdose in Richmond County. And in Columbia County, doctors treated 147 people in the ER.
A big construction project abandoned almost a year ago at Lake Olmsted Stadium, and things are not getting any better over there. People living nearby are worried now about how long this will be such an eyesore. News 12's Alyssa Lyons joining us now live from the stadium. And Alyssa, you did get the chance to talk with an Augusta commissioner about this today. So what are the city's plans for Lake Olmsted Stadium?
Well, a lot of the neighbors will probably not be too shocked. It's not the answer that anybody was expecting or wanting. But we'll get to that in just a second, because I want you to take a look at the way Lake Olmsted Stadium looks as is right now, because it's not a pretty picture. We have weeds probably as tall as my kneecap. On the concession stands windows, those were bashed in. Trash is everywhere. That's why a lot of people are saying it's time to give this old stadium some new life.
This is just looking so sad, and everything looks like it's so run down. I remember when I brought my kids here for games and special kids nights and dog nights.
Where she once took her kids to get hot dogs during the 7th inning stretch is now closed for business, open for maybe a different kind.
Well, I hear a lot of complaints about that it's not being taken care of.
You've lived here since 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Does it looking like this bring down the value of the properties around it?
I would definitely imagine so. I mean, somebody even just coming to look at houses, driving by something like this would be like, ugh, do I really want to buy anything there? Do I want to live there?
It's in the hands of the Development Authority, and it's out of our hands at this moment.
When asked what the future holds, the Development Authority says it's unclear.
By tearing it down, I don't know if that would be the best idea right there to be done.
They miss the family fun, the events, the activities, the beauty, because it's not there anymore.
Now, discussions are actively ongoing as to the future of Lake Olmsted Stadium. I did reach out to Brandon Garrett, the commissioner. He said that we could expect an announcement March 1st. But as for right now, the reality is it might look like this longer than anybody really wants to, Richard.
Yeah, I'll take it from here, Alyssa. Yeah, it's going to take a lot more money the longer it sits there to get it back in working order. So hopefully they find something fast. Still ahead, the Aiken County Animal Shelter is dealing with a few puppy problems. Coming up, we'll tell you what you can do to lend a helping hand.
And we are looking at temperatures to stay warm again tomorrow, but we are tracking some rain moving in Friday. Have an update on the forecast for you just after the break.
Time and temp.
Low temps tonight and early Thursday. Once again, pretty mild for this time of year. Mid to low 50s across the region. And then tomorrow afternoon, get ready for high temperatures close to 80 degrees. A little bit breezy with those southwest winds, but some beautiful weather on tap tomorrow. Hopefully you can get outside and enjoy it. This is our Friday planner. Remember, those rain chances Friday really confined to the early morning hours up until around lunchtime. Later into the afternoon, we do dry out. It will be a little bit windy out there on Friday, though. Here's a look at the 7-day forecast. Once again, a little bit cooler outlook Saturday, back to 60s Sunday, and then the 70s make a return next Monday through Wednesday.
All right, thanks, Riley. Volunteers with Friends of the Animal Shelter in Aiken County need your help. They say puppy season came early and they're getting a little bit overwhelmed. And the organization says helping won't cost a thing.
Yeah, News 12's Will Vogt stopped by to the animal shelter just to get a better idea of how they're dealing with this puppy problem and to find out how you can help.
Puppies everywhere. For some, this is the kind of stuff dreams are made of. But volunteers at the Aiken County Animal Shelter say it's becoming a big problem.
When we see 20 puppies come in a day, those are 20 more lives. Those are 20 more dogs we're going to have to find families for. I personally don't know 20 people looking for a dog right now.
Kathy Cagle says a few dozen puppies a week are coming in, and they don't have the space to keep up.
We just need a safe place to put them so they're, they stay healthy and we can take in more animals in our lane.
That's why she wants you to help. You can take home some of these puppies for free.
It's really pretty easy, especially when you have multiple puppies because they entertain themselves.
Cagle says they'll pay for everything, including food and toys. And you wouldn't have to take them forever. This would just give the puppies a place to go until they're ready to be put up for adoption.
There is nothing better in the world than a puppy. It's like therapy.
Cagle hopes if enough people do a little puppy therapy, it will help solve the shelter's puppy problems too. In Aiken, Will Vogt, on your side.
And Cagle says the short-term fosters usually last anywhere from 5 to 10 days, and we have a link to sign up for you on our website.
And you heard her suggest 2 puppies are better than 1.
I mean,
Easier.
Why not? Yeah, they're adorable. I mean, that is
cute.
helpful to the shelter.
Good stuff right there. Will, thank you for that. Coming up here, a fan favorite tradition returning to Christenberry Fieldhouse tonight. We're going to have live coverage from Augusta University next in sports.
At Lazy Boy, live life comfortably.
On your sideline, sports brought to you by the Hawk Law Group.
Good evening, everyone. We're coming to you live from inside Christenberry Fieldhouse at Augusta University. It's rivalry night, so Augusta is taking on USC Aiken, and it's halftime right now in the women's game. Augusta currently has the lead at this point in time. Now, everybody in this arena is getting ready for a fan favorite tradition that has quickly become a tradition. It's been incredible, and it is the Stuff the Stadium Teddy Bear Toss. And to tell us all about it is head coach Dick Beatrice. Coach, obviously, this is such a fun event. You have so many people who are coming out here and maybe throwing these stuffed animals onto the court after you guys score your first points. How many stuffed animals should we expect to be flying around all over?
Hopefully I have over 1,000. Last year I think we had 1,100. We really took off last year. I was really worried last year because we didn't know it was going to work. And we're excited about the event. We got 13 different student groups signed up, along with our traditional fans. And I see people bringing them in. I see a large stuffed animal. So hopefully none of them hit me in the head tonight.
And obviously, one of the cool parts about this is that all these stuffed animals, after they're eventually picked up, are maybe donated to local charities and causes around Augusta and the surrounding area. So how important is it for you guys to be involved in the community and be out there spreading this type of care?
Actually, it's great. We have a better exit plan for the stuffed animals this year. Last year, they stored them on the other side of the gym. I had to help get them across the gym next morning. So we're storing them toward the back door where the trucks come and pick them up. But it's a great thing for the community. And like I said, it's a great event. And hopefully we play well tonight, too.
And in terms of that, obviously, in addition to all the great things we have going on tonight, we also have the fact that the conference standings in the Peach Belt are extremely close. There's only 2 games that are separating the top 5 seeds. So how important is it for you guys to walk away with a victory tonight, knowing everything that's on the line?
Absolutely. We got 3 losses. Aiken has 4 losses. So if you can, they've already beaten us, so they have us in a tiebreaker. So it's very important to try to get the #1 seed and win the regular season title. That's our first goal every single year. And hopefully we'll play well tonight and put ourselves in a position with 3 games left, a chance to win the regular season title.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for your time as always. We appreciate it. Tip-off is at 7:30, and shortly after that, we are expecting to see a lot of stuffed animals flying all over the place. So stick around. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have coverage throughout the evening. But for now, reporting from Christenberry Fieldhouse, Dan Booth on your side.
Looks like a lot of fun over there. It's not just about basketball tonight either. Happening right now, the Academy of Richmond County getting set to take on Aquinas in the baseball showcase right over there at SRP Park. First pitch of the game getting ready to start in about just a few minutes, 6:30.
The high school baseball showcase lets the community come out, cheer on local talent to kick off the season in a fantastic venue. she is running to save the country from what she called a downward spiral of socialism and defeatism.
For a strong America, for a proud America, I am running for President of the United States.
While it is still early, political experts predict the Republican primaries will be crowded again. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, former Vice President Mike Pence, and South Carolina Senator Tim Scott are all among the Republicans expected to throw their hat in the ring over the next few months.
Richmond County parents, you need to know the high school system or the school system is considering closing a couple of elementary schools. This is still in the planning phases. It's early, but students at Terrace Manor and Willis Foreman Elementary could get switched around in this. For Terrace Manor, the school board members are considering merging the school with Wheelus Road Elementary. In this plan, the only change is that Wheelus Road's attendance zone would actually grow larger. Another idea is to repurpose Willis Foreman Elementary School and merge those students into surrounding schools. This map shows what those changes might look like with students split between Deer Chase, Blythe, and Hepzibah Elementary Schools. We'll keep an eye on that for you.
Well, remember, nice weather does continue Thursday, but we are tracking some rain moving in by Friday. Now look at that 7-day forecast just after the break.
Investigate TV